Welcome to another installment of The Fight Guys. Today we are at Jack Rabbit's Boxing Academy here at the media workout for Jesse Magdelano and Oscar Valdez. Returning cast is myself, Fernando Pimentel of BehindTheGloves.com, and
Dominic Verdine of RingTV.com and IFL TV over in the UK.
And
Steven Cureño at KO Artist Sports.
And obviously, as you see next to me, is the beautiful and lovely Crystina Poncher of TopRank.com, Top Rank itself, boxing. And again, we're at the workout for Valdez and Jesse Magdelano. Talk to us about this big pay-per-view coming up on November 5th in Las Vegas, Nevada. Thomas and Mack, Manny Pacquiao versus Jesse Vargas. The legend versus the champion, and then we also have Nonito Donaire versus Jesse Magdelano, Oscar Valdez, and we have Zhu Shiming opening up the card. Talk to us about the event itself and how this is looking.
Yeah, it's looking really good. Everything's coming together from the Thomas and Mack, which we produced some really great fights there, to the broadcast crew that we put together with Stephen A. Smith, who will be adding some of his special commentary to the fight, Brian Kinney, and who better than Tim Bradley to call a Vargas-Pacquiao fight, having the experience in the ring, Carissa Thompson holding it down at the host position, and myself as the reporter. And then with the fighters, all of these guys, with Valdez, with Magdelano, with Nonito, with Jesse, all of them show that they can all be in entertaining fights, and they all most importantly want to put on a show that night. They're not going in there to just kind of skate by 12 rounds. Everybody is going for the knockout in all of those fights, and I'm sure we should see a couple that night. It's going to be a great event.
It's possible that Magdelano versus Donaire can steal the show.
Oh, absolutely. I think you're right, and I think that's one. Obviously, the fans are very familiar with both fighters. This fight has kind of been talked about on social media for a little while now, and we finally got it to come. It's the young lion versus the experienced warrior, and I think that, you know, every young champion or young guy wanting to be a champion has to win that fight that they're maybe not supposed to get to the next level. And I think that's the prize for Jesse. And Nonito's like, look, I'm the champ. I'm way more experienced. I've been on this stage, you know, a ton of times, and I'm not ready to go anywhere yet. So
Tell us about just being that you work for Top Rank. Tell us because everyone kind of from the outside looking in looks at Oscar Valdez and he looks like the real deal. Even old timers, old fans, who look at him, they're like, he's the goods. Like tell us what it's like being in Top Rank and kind of the feeling you guys have for Oscar Valdez.
Well, I think we echo those sentiments completely. I mean, he's got what we would consider to be the full package, not just the skills in the ring, but his charisma outside of the ring, the fact that he's a good-looking kid, he speaks English and Spanish, he, lets the fans into his life a little bit on social media, he has a crocodile as a pet, he's kind of got all these, facets, he has all these, aspects to him that could make him a star like an Oscar De La Hoya, but of course you have to back those things up in the ring, and with the 20-0, 18 KO record, I mean, he's doing what he has to do, and I know fans are clamoring for him to fight a Frampton or a Gary Russell Jr. or Leo Santa Cruz, and those fights will come. But his goal was to become a world champion. He made that happen, and hopefully soon enough, Top Rank can work with some of these other promoters, and he can have a shot at unifying some of the titles, because I think he's got the goods, and I think that everyone at Top Rank really, really does believe in this kid.
He's been pretty vocal about wanting to fight fighters of the PBC. He wants Leo Santa Cruz. He wants Gary Russell Jr. Those are all marketable fights. You think that's going to happen sometime next year?
I think next year, very much so. I mean, boxing needs it. Top Rank needs it. Who am I to say that, we'll be fine just on our own? Like, it's not, I mean, if our sport is going to succeed and continue to succeed, we got to make these great fights. And the fighters want to fight. Most of them, want these opportunities. Yes. And if there's not politics involved, then if we can put that to the side, it's not only great for the promoters and the fighters, but for the sport in general. So I can see that happening next year.
Talk to us about the expectation about this fight. Obviously, you already went through the all-star cast of who's going to be broadcasting it. Obviously, it's Top Rank itself. It's not HBO, but the broadcaster itself, Bradley, yourself, Carissa Thompson. And talk to us just about the expectation of what you guys expect with the production value, being that it's you guys producing it yourselves and not HBO.
Well, there's been a lot of thought process going into how we're going to do this. Obviously, HBO has been the gold standard, in my opinion, in how they put on fights and broadcasts, and we've been side by side next to them working for so long that we've had, great experience to pull from what they've done. But Top Rank has been producing their own broadcast for a very long time. We did the True TV broadcast. We've done HBO 2 fights from Macau. We do the international show every time. So we're bringing the experience of the broadcasters like a Brian Kinney and a Tim Bradley to call the fight, because they're true pros and they know what it's like. You got a guy that's Stephen A. who not only can help promote the fight on his various platforms, but brings a unique commentary. He's not going to be on the blow-by-blow as a color commentator. Just kind of, I know a lot of people have asked about that, but he's going to be more or less providing some insight in between rounds, maybe how he sees the fight going, kind of like a Harold Letterman, if you will, but without an official scorecard. And we're going to have a host position. I'll be back in the locker rooms bringing you guys interviews from when the fighters arrive to them getting the mitts, getting warmed up and everything. And I think that all together, I mean, it's a way for, they're not putting the Top Rank bias on it in the terms of, yes, I'm going to be there and I work for them, but at the same time, like, they're both our fighters. It's not like we're having a golden boy fighter in terms of the main event. So I think that it'll be held to a gold standard, and as it should be. From cameras to the features that are putting together, we've got a great crew behind the scenes, and it's going to be a really, really awesome show.
And that's not the...
Were there any thoughts that you had, being that Top Rank brought in Steven? He's been kind of critical of Pacquiao,
sure,
over the years, and now you guys are bringing him in for the telecast that you guys are putting on. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I was kind of shocked by it, but I get it. I understand. Look, you're supposed to have broadcasters that are unbiased. I mean, if you're going to do this like a you can't necessarily do this from a promoter standpoint, because then maybe people would watch it on mute. You got to kind of bring in people that are going to bring up the tough questions, or maybe bring up points that if you have somebody that's just like myself, only a Top Rank employee, maybe wouldn't say or ask the critical things, and he will, and he has been. So he'll bring that to the table, and if Manny doesn't look good and it looks like it's time for retirement, Stephen A will have no problem looking Manny Pacquiao in the face and saying, you're done.
Share with us your thoughts on Jesse Vargas, because his confidence is, he owns it. He really does. There's a lot of fighters out there that will tell themselves, you know what, I believe in myself, I'm going to win this fight, but they truly don't. Jesse Vargas really believes in his set skills. He believes that he has the boxing IQ to derail Manny Pacquiao. I really believe him.
I agree with you 100%. I think for Jesse Vargas, this is the perfect time for him to get this fight. It's put up or shut up in terms of where he can go in his career at this point. And I think that that Bradley fight gave him a lot of confidence. Although maybe it came from one punch. If you watch that fight back, there was 3 or 4 times in several other rounds where he just missed that punch by like this much, and then finally lands it. And if he can just get things to click on all cylinders, why shouldn't he have all the confidence in the world? What does he have to lose?
And he's punching harder at 147.
He's punching hard. You saw the knockout, and that was kind of something that had been a knock on him for a while. Is he doesn't really have the power, but it's coming. And if you go to his training camp and you see it, there's more pop on those mitts. And he's throwing it with for his country, for his kids, for everything. You can feel it behind these punches, because he feels like, this is my time. This is my time to shine, and I completely believe him.
Being that you're behind the stage, obviously, with Top Rank all the time, talk to us about the difference you see in Jesse Vargas, because, like you said, after the Bradley fight, he's been a lot more aggressive, even not only in the ring, but outside of the ring as well. Like, talk to us about that difference. Did you kind of see the switch?
Well, I think, he's always been somewhat of a boisterous guy. He's been confident in himself. So it's not like I thought he was shy before, but I think that he did it against a fighter that had accomplished, being in the ring with Manny, with Marquez, with all these guys that he felt like, oh, I can hit him and he's gonna be wobbled. Or if I had 10 more seconds, or whatever, those are in a fighter's career. Those moments change perspective, change your confidence, and I have been able to see the fact that. Maybe before he wouldn't have been as boastful, but he's earned it. I mean, he's gone out there and put in the work, even against Saddam Ali. You weren't sure because of the switch with trainers, like how that was going to work out, and he goes in there and he knocks this guy out. And you're like, whoa! Yeah. Like, now he's backing up what he's saying. It's not just talk anymore; it's talk and action. And that's been the biggest changes. Before I think he's always had that confidence, but maybe he hasn't shown it as much as he has now.
You guys actually begin it and end it. You guys also have Lomachenko versus Valdez.
Oh, yes.
The big fight, a fight that many people were looking for at the beginning of this year. Didn't get it then, but we finally get it now. Your thoughts on that fight, and the fact that it's happening at a very intimate location with just a small number of people that could go to it, the Cosmopolitan. What are your thoughts about that?
I am super excited. I mean, I was really bummed when we couldn't make this fight happen earlier in the year when, for money reasons, or, a lot of fighters say it's money. You never really know, but whatever. That's for another episode of another show. But Top Rank with Canelo not fighting again until next year. Kind of some things happened, and I like to say that the planets all aligned, the stars all aligned, and we got to give you guys a great gift, a Thanksgiving gift, with this fight. And it being at an intimate venue like the Chelsea at the Cosmopolitan, it's like, yes, because these guys are gonna go in there and they're gonna bang, like they're gonna. It's great for everybody in attendance because you're gonna get to see the skills of Lomachenko up close. There's not a bad seat in the house, and then it is a very intimate venue. And the X factor, which is Nicholas Walters' power. If he can find a way to get inside, he has that punching power. Ask Nonito Donaire. That is a game changer. And if he can try to get inside, I mean, who knows? A question about Lomachenko is his chin. Because has he been hit, flush? Has he gone against a big puncher? I mean, it's going to make for some fireworks, and I'm super excited about that.
For those new Fight Guy fans out there, check out our YouTube channel. We have a video with Nonito Donaire actually breaking down Lomachenko's cadences, the things that he does, and how Nicholas Walters can take advantage of that.
Very seldom do we see a fighter, Lomachenko's ability to box the way he does, but at 8-0, we've never seen a fighter of that caliber have 2 titles around his waist. I mean, he's a 2-division champion. He's an amateur, 2-time gold medalist that was 396 wins against 1 defeat, I believe.
Yeah.
And he got revenge.
He did.
In that defeat. What makes Lomachenko so special?
Okay. Everything that you just said, he's really something special, and I think he's legit. Like, promoters will promote the crap out of their fighters, even if they're not worth, much. But he's the goods. Yeah. And he's shown it in just the way his mind is, the way he thinks, his work ethic, his footwork, his ring intelligence, the quickness of his hands. I mean, some of the crazy workouts that he does with his tennis ball tied. I mean, he's insane. He's like a freak of nature, honestly. And it's been such a joy to watch his career.
Christina, before we let you go today, just let the fans know where they can follow you, get to see more about you, get to know more about you. Hello. Yeah, just let us know where we can find all that.
I was like, open up, Christina. Let everybody know. At Crystina Poncher on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. All our videos all week long are going to be streaming live on Top Rank's Facebook and YouTube. And then, of course, don't forget the pay-per-view. It's going down November 5th on the Thomas and Mack, produced by Top Rank pay-per-view. I'll be hosting the weigh-in show live and then bring you all the locker room and behind-the-scenes footage come fight night. So thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
Once again, for the Fight Guys, Dominic, Steven, myself, Fernando, and Christina saying we'll see you at the fight. Make sure to continue watching this coverage from Pacquiao, Jesse Vargas. We will be at the Manny Pacquiao workout next week. Hopefully we'll talk to Oscar Valdez a little shortly. But thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.